How's it going, honey?
Oh, it's going all right. Trimming the trees.
Well, Donnie is already hard at work this morning, and we have to start getting ready for fall here in Zone 6A because it is just around the corner. So today we're going to be talking about what we can do in Zone 6A here in the Rocky Mountains to get ready for fall. So welcome everybody to Mountain Harmony Gardening. I'm Kristen, and that's Donnie. And today we're going to be cleaning up our garden for fall. Landry has been absolutely destroying our sunflowers and other crops, which you've seen in some of my other videos that I've filmed lately. So Donnie is going to go up. I'm going to put the ladder here for him while he gets up on that steep roof. But what we're having to do is we're having to trim the ash tree up, because what Landry does is he runs across our trellises that are behind me, hops on my tool shed, gets up on there, and then gets into the tree. And there were a whole bunch of branches that were actually resting on the shed here. So Donnie is trimming that all up. Well, I need to start working on some other areas of the garden. But this is something that you can do in fall, is thin out your tree a little bit. Just to, not too much. You don't want to take too much of the tree down this time of the year, but just enough to get it going. Now I'm going to go show you some other areas of the garden that really need my attention. All right, let's talk about the pumpkin bed. We have been getting really cold weather all of a sudden. Normally, we still have hot weather this time of the year. It's been raining for the last 2 days. And I've come out here and noticed that the pumpkin vine, like I can pull it up here, is definitely done. So the pumpkin up here is not quite ready. It's still got a green stem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unclip it and I'm just going to trim it back to where the pumpkin is at. That way I can go ahead and get this out of here right now. And then that way I don't have to worry about it. And I'm also going to be, there we go. I'm also going to be trimming up all of the leaves, because these leaves look really bad. They've got a lot of powdery mildew, but we still have pumpkins that are maturing on here. So I'm going to leave the leaves down lower to look a little bit better. We have had so much rain that the basil is falling over. I have been coming out here all season and trimming off the tops, and it just keeps getting larger and larger, especially with this rain. It really likes this cooler weather. Of course, right now it's starting to get a little bit more warm. What I need to do is I need to put a stake in the ground just to kind of give it a little bit of support to keep it standing up so I can come in here. And I'm even going to clip it here just to make sure that it doesn't fall over anymore. And I need to do that with several of them. And the other thing that I need to do is I need to start trimming up the leaves on all of the cucumbers and the rich sweetness melons. Because you can see above us, these are probably about all the melons that we're going to get are the ones that are left over here. Nothing else new is really going to grow, and it really doesn't have time. So I'm just going to go ahead and come down here and just clean up all of the dead leaves, which there's not many because I do keep up on it throughout the season. But just make sure that this is a little bit more clean and easier to work in here. So we definitely want to be maintaining our garden this time of the year, because fall is just around the corner. And when fall comes, then everything dies back and you have to take it down all at once. If you do a little bit of this throughout the fall season and keep up on it, it's just a little bit easier when it's actually time to take the whole entire garden down. With all of this rain, the tomatillo has completely fallen over. If I didn't have the stake here, it'd be laying on the ground. But it has just gotten so large. And that's why I say about these tomato cages, they do not hold up the plants once they start to get large. That's why Donnie,
hello,
is going to be making custom cages for our tomatillos. And we're going to be putting them in a totally different spot next year that we will talk about in later videos. But I need Donnie's help. You probably won't be able to see us behind this plant because it's so large. But if he can hold that, then here, go hand that to you. If you can get a stake in.
Get a hold of that.
And I've got the cage, which I'm sure you can't see us behind this huge tomatillo. Nope, careful. You're stepping on a Kajari. There you go. Okay. All right, we've got to put in some more of these metal stakes. These seem to be the only ones to really hold up the cage. So we'll get this done, and then we'll move on to our next project we're working on. This is the only sunflower that the Landers haven't gotten to, but now you have to duck under it, and I need to tie it up just a little bit more. And I am going to use this tape, even though I'm not exactly fond of it, because it stretches a little bit much. Here, I'll give that to you. But I at least got to try something. So I'm just going to give it a good tie, and let's see how that does.
I would tie it again here, maybe.
There again. Okay. There we go. Just reuse that tape. I'm making it quite tight because this stretches a lot. Okay, let's see how that does. It's okay. There we go. Now we're not hitting our heads. That works out great. All right, now we need to talk about this sunflower in front of me. The Landrys have taken off all the sunflowers at the top. So I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, darn squirrels. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this one out completely.
And we got a new garden stake.
Yep, we do have a new garden stake. Tawny loves saving these to make stakes for the garden. And I have been using them, so that's really good. Like I've got a smaller one over here. Now for this one, it's looking kind of sad, but it still has some sunflowers at the top, and I want to leave those for the bees. So I'm just going to trim up the leaves, and this one I'm probably going to attach up here too, just to make sure that it's not falling over too much. And yeah, you could kind of just weave it in sometimes, like just like that. I'm just going to clean these up a little bit. There's nothing that needs to be done in the beds below me. Everything else in all the little pockets looks pretty good. So it's not too much cleanup in this area. So I'm going to get to finishing that. These zucchini are out of hand this year. So we're definitely going to need to tie them up. You can see the difference between their new leaves and they're a little bit older leaves. These ones look great. So that's why I've been taking these off. And I did come out here the other day and take a bunch off. But I'm going to have to use string to try to get this to be tied up. And you can see that the leaves are all going to be pointing the wrong direction now. But that's okay, because they definitely do right themselves back out after a day or two. So you just want to keep tying these up. It's a little bit harder with the string because it's actually it kind of holds on to the plants a little bit too much. All right, but just make sure it's good and tight. And there you go. Now I'm going to show you trimming off all the leaves as soon as I get my clippers. So any of the ones that are broken, like you can see how this one is broken, you want to take off. And I'm just going to hand them here to Donnie. And you kind of start at the bottom and work your way up, because they are definitely starting to look distressed this time of the year. And I'm only going to want to keep the ones that look really good. The rest of them can go. And they're pointing at all funny angles because they keep falling over. As soon as they get zucchini on them, they get heavy. So next year we'll be trying a little bit different of a cage. Like this one's completely twisted. I'm going to take it off, even though the leaf actually looks pretty good, but it's twisted all around. So I just go down the plant and I just trim off everything that's not looking good. Like, look at that one. That one is definitely not looking good. And then the zucchini plant will be all set up.
I've been harvesting these goji berries for my mom and dad. I may not like them, but they definitely do. These goji berries produce so much, like even more than the tomatoes and the raspberries. This has certainly been a fruitful harvest.
It is really starting to get hot out here. Whew. This is amazing with this fall. It's like it's cold, cold, cold in the morning and we get rain and it's really cold. But now that it's nice and warm, we definitely need to get on our chores some more. The huckleberries, these first two plants, if you get a close-up look, are just now starting to get flowers. But this is like it. This is all that those two have done. The only one that has gotten flowers and huckleberries is actually this plant here, and I think it's because it's getting a little bit more sun. Now, I know that we do not have enough time for huckleberries to get to the size they need to and to ripen. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take these two plants out, along with this tomatillo down here. I have pretty much already harvested what I can, other than, oh, there's one more I can harvest. See how it split its husk? But I'm gonna go ahead and take this one out. Now the other two behind me still have tomatillos on them. But this tomatillo plant, I think I'm just gonna get rid of because there's no point in having it anymore if it's not gonna produce, and might as well save me a little bit of time later by taking it out now. Because it's getting down into the 50s at night, it's time to bring in the house plants, even though this is a little bit early. But this is my yucca, and you can see that it is now taller than I am. It really loves being outside. But out here, I have the space for it to kind of go where it wants to, but in the house, I just do not. So what I'm gonna do is I've found another bamboo stake that is much thicker than all the rest, and I'm gonna have to put a stake in here, and I'm gonna tie it up a little bit better. And I do have some tape with me somewhere. Oh, there it is. That I can do this with, and this flexi tape will be just fine for these. So one thing that you want to think about when you're bringing your houseplants inside from the outside to the inside for wintertime is they're probably going to have bugs in their soil, and we know we don't want more dreaded fungus gnats in the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put some mosquito bits in this and water it in really good. I'm going to make sure that I clean it all up, like if there's any leaves that don't look quite as good as the other ones, I'm going to give it a little bit of a haircut. Make sure I don't have any creepy crawlies on the plants. Plus we have a lot of praying mantis out here. I want to make sure there's none of those. But just clean up your pant, mosquito bit it, and bring it inside. I have shown you guys in other videos this mess that is here and also beside the shed. And we got to take off those branches are on the roof and the fence. I have been putting this chore off the whole season. Spring, summer, and now we're getting close to fall. But I'm not going to put it off any longer. Today, I am going to finally, with Donnie's help, right, Donnie?
Yeah.
And we are going to clean up this area because it really needs it. And I do need some mulch in other areas of the yard. So it is time to finally clean this up. Whew. I am tired. I think Donnie's tired. We're all hungry. That was a lot of work. It took several hours to clean up our mess that we made with the tree and get the rest of the garden back in order. I decided that I was going to go ahead and take out all of the really bad canes in here. I mean, most of them had completely died back, which they normally don't do. So Donnie and I went ahead and took them out and just left about half of what's in here. And you could see that it still looks bad, but these will produce raspberries next year. So that's why we left them. But it does look a lot cleaner. All right, walking into the garden, we have staked up like the dahlias were flopping, and these dahlias were too. And I didn't deadhead these because I have something that I want to do for another video where I talk about saving seeds from the flowers. So I actually didn't go ahead and deadhead all these like I normally do. But this looks way better. I can actually walk through the path. One of the largest transformations you'll see is the zucchini. You can see that I took off almost all their leaves because they were looking really bad, but they only need a few to keep going. And you can see that they're all kind of like pointing down and they don't look so great. That's because they had flopped over and the leaves were growing up this way. Give them about 2-3 days, they'll all be back to normal. And we still have zucchini in here, so I want to make sure that we give them as much time to produce some more zucchini as possible. And our tomatillo is looking better, a little sad, looks like it might need some water, which I could do since it's water day. And the sunflowers look so much better being all trained up, and then we took the one out. So this area is ready to go for a while, at least until it starts to die back. But we shouldn't have to do much other than we'll probably have to train up the zucchinis just a little bit more. But this area looks really good. And we come around here to the huckleberries and the tomatillos. This is a big difference too, because we took out 2 of the huckleberries and 1 of the tomatillos. We can't quite get this cage out because it is kind of got the other tomatillo growing through it. Same thing with the huckleberries. But these are the plants I'm going to leave because they're still producing. But the other ones, they were done for the season. The kale I will be taking down later because I want to freeze some of it and save it. The tomatoes, I just went through and I just clipped them up to the cage because they love this time of the year. They are going crazy and they are still producing tomatoes. So I don't want to take those down at all. And same thing with the cucumbers and the rich sweetness melons. I just pretty much trimmed up all the dead leaves on both sides and clipped them up where I needed to, which wasn't a lot. They are getting towards the end of the season, and what's growing is on top of the trellis now. Look at this. We actually cleaned up the whole entire area. Now, the 4x4s are going to be for a project that Donnie's doing, and we're going to be probably starting on that here pretty soon. So we went ahead and left those, but we cleaned everything else up, hung everything else up. I organized all of our stakes, and here are sunflower stakes for this year, and you can see a couple that we have from last year. They make great stakes. But I cleaned everything up here. I put down a little bit more mulch in some areas. You could see that we pretty much almost took out the pumpkin vines because they are done. And then you can see I found some more cucumbers hanging out, and I had totally missed. I was like, how did I miss that many? But you can also see, look at that gourd. Isn't that pretty? And we've got another gourd hanging back here. And I think there's some other ones in here, but I kind of weeded this area, took out as many of the leaves as I could, and made this all better. Now this is ready for the rest of our fall season. I shouldn't have to do a whole bunch more other than harvesting. And here in with the basil, I have it all staked up now, all the ones that needed it at least. And now they're not flopping in the path so much. But I am going to come in here. I'm going to harvest a lot of the basil. Some of it I might take out completely because I want to make pesto so that we have it through the winter. But the tomatoes are looking really good in here, and the cucumbers and rich sweetness melons are looking great. So now it's pretty much just kind of maintaining a little bit until the freeze comes. Once the freeze comes, then I'll show you how we take down the whole entire garden, and we'll talk about some changes that we're going to make. So I hope this shows you what we're doing in zone 6A. I kept saying 6B and had to start over several times. But we're in zone 6A in the Rocky Mountains. And I wanted to give you an idea that yes, we can still garden during the fall, but there's not as long of a season as in some other areas. So if you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below. Welcome to all our new subscribers. And we're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the month, so don't forget to share the video. So thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Happy gardening, everyone.